the listeners and everyone more about you. Did you grow up in LA? Did
Yeah.
you come out here? Because I know you have like a lot of like influential like relatives too. Like, is it like your aunt on like the Housewives?
Yeah, it's my godmother.
Yeah. No, because I'm like really good at like studying the people before they're on.
Stalking. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I don't want to sound creepy.
Yeah, no, it's all good. I put it out there, so that's up to y'all what you do with it.
Right. So tell listeners more about like all that. I know that's been like helping you and
Yeah.
So is that like always were you in the fashion and
Yeah, so, I wasn't technically born and raised, even though I kind of was in LA. I'm adopted. I was adopted from Nebraska.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I wouldn't have known that.
Which a lot of people don't know. It's out there, but it's not like on the front burner, you know?
I'm happy you touched on that.
Yeah, right? So I was only in Nebraska for 3 days, so I don't think it really counts.
Oh.
But I've grown up in LA for the rest of my life. I'm 21 now.
Wow, you're really young.
Yeah.
I'm happy to have you on here. So I didn't know all this stuff. Like you're really young to do everything you've been doing.
I've just been hustling since I was little. Like I've always had like an entrepreneurial mindset. I got that from my dad. I've been doing fashion since I was 7 years old. I saw Project Runway for the first time. That's what really like kicked things into gear. I was like, I can see myself doing this for like the rest of my life.
Right.
So, I started taking sewing classes. I learned how to sew from my grandma and just been working my way up, and I'm trying to keep that trajectory going.
You've been doing good. You look great. Everything's going good.
Thank you.
I'm happy you got on here. So I was gonna ask you. This whole like podcast is really to get guests on and talk about bullying, if they've ever been bullying, what they learned. So I think a lot of that has to do with like through the years, people that bully others is because it comes from a place of insecurities.
100%.
So I think that the whole like amor means self-love in French. That's a really powerful thing that goes with bullying. So what does self-love mean to you? Like when you think of that, what does it mean to you?
Self-love, honestly, I think it's everything. Like I definitely did not love myself to the extent that I do now for my whole life. And I'll just tell all y'all listening out there, life is so much easier when you love yourself and you're just like authentically and unapologetically yourself. Growing up was tough, obviously being very gay, very flamboyant and different, and just like kind of beating to my own drum, that doesn't mix well with some people, and, if you ain't got no haters, you ain't popping. That's what I've always told myself.
I like your energy. I swear, like, I'm like the same way, like how you are and everything you're saying about, like, it really is like that. Wow. How did you get to this level where you had this, like, confidence? Was it through your work?
It was a lot through my work and finding stuff that I'm passionate about. Like fashion, I feel like really kind of turned my life around because I feel like having a light at the end of the tunnel and a goal that you set your mind to, I feel like that kind of makes life a little easier because you know what you're working towards.
Right. I like your whole like vibe, man.
Thank you. I just try to spread positivity and be happy because, that's just how I am. I just rather be that than depressed and bummy.
Really, I could feel it because like when you got here, you called me and I just felt like an automatic, like this great vibe.
Aw, thank you.
You look good, you smell good.
Really? That product candy perfume,
I was going to ask you, what is that?
It's the best. I only like sweet scents. Anything else gives me a headache. I don't do musky, I don't do floral, I don't do any of that. I like sweet, straight out of the bakery, like candy.
What's that? What are you wearing?
Prada candy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was gonna go back to the whole like reason why I'm doing this podcast, and I was gonna ask you, did you ever been bullied like through like growing up, like but a specific story that it happened to you, but then you learned from it? You could share.
So here's the thing, is that like you see on TV and all these things like the extreme versions of bullying, like I never got, like a swirly in the toilet or like anything like that, so I sometimes even feel bad like saying that I was bullied because that kind of stuff never happened, but I definitely did not have it easy, especially, it was specifically the straight white boys, especially in middle school. They are the worst. They could not stand me. It would just be kind of snide comments.
Middle school?
Middle school.
Where did you go to middle school?
I went to middle school in Palos Verdes, Rolling Hills Country Day. Yeah, let me call them out real quick. Yeah, but the thing is like, at the time I really let it get to me, and I wish I kind of knew what I knew now, because I feel like it would have been much easier.
What was it that you know now that you didn't know then?
just to love myself and know that my opinion of myself is really the only one that matters at the end of the day. For real, facts on that.
It is though, that really is really matters, because if you feel good, then you give that good energy off and you just, the momentum runs. But if you're like, all like, you feel, a big part of that, what I think why that's so important is because I never had a real relationship with like a girl, like I never had a girlfriend for a long time because I was getting bullied, and I just was like a very insecure guy. And then like as I started loving myself, then I got my first girlfriend. This was like 20 years old.
Yeah.
So it's like that whole like you are the energy you give off is like really important.
Totally, and it's like that self-love, it radiates outward.
Right.
So even if you aren't, the flyest person out there, like if you carry yourself with confidence and like love, I feel like that really shines outwards and it attracts people to you. That's what's kind of been successful for me. It's like I'm great at networking. I'm nice to everybody. I'm just engaging, and that's helped me build connections out here, build relationships.
I see. Man, you're being modest, but like congratulations. I mean, it's been like a progression. Like you haven't like stagned or like was like, oh, but I did this. I see the growth. It's just coming. And
Thank you. It takes time. It takes time.
But that's an awesome thing, man.
Thank you.
I was gonna ask you. So when you were in school and you were seeing what was going on with like administration stuff, what's some things that you wish they could have done better? Like, would you want to give advice for schools and teachers? What you wish would have happened when you were there? I know it's a little bit different, but it's still that zone.
Totally.
When you were there when the social media was still
Exactly.
I wasn't. I'm like 34. So it was like way. I'm like, so that's why I was like really happy to get you on, because you could give advice to, because I have a lot of schools and like teachers that we've done assemblies with that they tune in, so they probably like, what would be some advice that from a student's perspective that you thought would have protected you more while you were there?
I think that the administration and teachers and everything, you just need to be a little more vigilant and just like keep an eye out for the underdogs, because you can always tell who's sitting alone and who's doing that. Just make a little bit of an effort, because sometimes all they need is that little push to get out there, and then things start kind of coming into place. And a lot of times I feel like, especially at my little brother's schools and like at these other places, like the administration doesn't do anything. Right. They're there to just make sure that you're, at school on time, not after dress code, like all that. And, school is so much more than just an education. I feel like it's really like a social scene. It's really important to grow. It builds the character of the kids that are there. So I think administration just step it up a little bit.
What do you think are some other ways that do you think they should do like clubs? How do you think, like, specifically with how you felt, was there like a certain time or a teacher or a counselor, how would you have felt like would have been the best way to go about it?
I don't know about like clubs or anything, because you don't want to make it seem too cheesy, because there's way to like, there's two extremes. You don't want them to feel like a baby, but you also don't want them to be bullied. You want to find that like in between ground. That's how I say about being gay too. I don't want to be treated any different than anybody else. I just want to be, treated with like everybody else.
That's why I liked you so much, because I was like, you own it, you are who you are, you're unapologetic, and that's like, alright, so this is going to be a little bit tying in, but I was watching this Netflix special called like something dropping cash or something, but it was Fetty Wap that was on there, and he was like forever he was insecure about his one eye, and then finally he was like, you know what, I'm going to own it, I'm going to be who I am, I'm not going to like hide behind this, and then that's when he became Fetty Wap.
Exactly, and look at him! And he has like 50 baby mamas, and he only got one eye, so that gives hope to us all.
Exactly, that's how the whole, like when you're saying that you own it and you are who you are, it's like really what you need to do at the end of the day. But I was going to ask you, how did you get to that level you were, because it takes a lot of self-confidence, because I didn't tell, like, when I started the brand, the whole thing was like a more proud, it's friendship and self-love, and I didn't love myself for a long time, and then I was like, you know what, I'm going to start this brand, and self-love has a lot to do with me being bullied, so I was like, still scared at what, like, I started the brand like at 20, like I was like 28, 27, and I was still scared to come out, like, that's when like Facebook was big, and I was still scared to come on there and be like, hey, I'm going to tell everyone I got bullied, because it was like, still like, man, I'm embarrassed.
So much stigma around it,
How did you get that, like, that you just got to break through it? Were you always like, I'm just going to do it, or were you like, because I had this friend named Ryan, he's like an NFL player, and he finally came out to like, ESPN, and everyone's like, yo, I'm bisexual, this is my boyfriend, it's like, and,
Wow.
yeah, so how did you, he's like in his 30s, I think, but he's a little older, how did you get to that level? Are you always like that, or?
I definitely was not always like that. I remember it was the specific day. So the most of my bullying happened in middle school.
Right.
Middle school and elementary school. And I remember I was going to an all-new high school. It wasn't the ones that most of the kids from my middle school were going to. So it was like a brand new, fresh start. So it was probably the hardest thing that I've ever had to do. But I'm like, I'm going to make like an active decision
In high school?
In high school. Literally the first day of freshman year.
In high school? Whoa!
First day, I swear to God. And everybody will know, everybody will tell you in my life. Like, it was just a full 360. I'm like, I'm gonna at least fake it till I make it. Like,
Right.
I'm just gonna put out self-confidence and self-love, and you know, it worked out.
Wow, that's awesome that you did that then.
Yeah.
Wasn't it like kind of like how did you go about that? Did you just like?
It was so hard. It was mostly a mental thing. Like, it was, because the thing is all the insecurity and stuff, it's all in your head, honestly. It's just, as soon as you can step over that and you can, you know, kind of overcome that, then everything opens up. And from there, I got on Project Runway.
And you met the people that like tie into your life and that you're supposed to be hanging out with, right?
Exactly.
Instead of like trying to be around people and trying to be a certain person, it's like, it's not going to work because these aren't like the people you're supposed to be with.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and people in middle school is the worst. If any of y'all are in middle school out there, just, I pray for y'all because it's with the hormones and all that, everything going on is the worst.
Right, right. I know you have a big following and a lot of like the youth and stuff. What would be more of your advice to them if they're going through the same thing you're going right now, like high school, middle school?
Mm-hmm. I get DMs like on a daily basis from people. Yeah, my DMs are popping.
I know they are.
And I try to reply to all of them, especially a lot of them I see so much of myself in.
Right.
Especially the young, gay, flamboyant boys. I'm like, you have no idea like how much I know what you're going through.
Mm-hmm.
So I just try to like tell them everything that I've been saying so far. And it's honestly, everyone's struggle is different, and you know, what works for me might not work for you.
Right.
But I can at least guide you along and help you, give some pointers along the way. But that's like one of the most rewarding parts about being an influencer, even though I hate that word.
You're more than that. You actually have a brand. You've done runways.
Mm-hmm.
You're like stepping into the whole design. You really are like a designer.
I've
seen all your all the collections you put out. Your last one was dope too.
Thank you. That was fun.
And influencers more like they're getting a lot of brands and they're promoting it and they're like putting their influence. But yours is like way more.
I'm trying to build an empire out here. That's what I'm trying to do.
Like you are. You're not trying. I've seen it. It's like it's awesome. What are you working on right now? No, you told me.
Oh my gosh, we have so much stuff going on. You know, first season is Matt Sarafa season, so we're coming back strong. We have 3 new lines.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Send me an invite. I'll try to come with my girlfriend Christina.
Yeah, totally. I got y'all. Yeah, it's gonna be so much fun. I love this is my favorite season to work. We're always just so busy. So many celebrity polls. We have some huge magazine
The funny thing is
covers.
I've been seeing it, so it's like I'm happy.
And you've only seen the half. You've only seen what I was been able to post. I have so much stuff in my files and in my archives that I'm not allowed to post yet because the magazines haven't come out. But it's gonna be a really exciting quarter for us.
What got you to that? What do you think got you to get like to another level than you were before? What do you think was that whole thing that got you?
Honestly, I just think it's my whole hustle kind of switched up. You know, I was on Project Runway, so
I saw that too. Congratulations.
Thank you. But the thing with that is, like, a lot of people go on Project Runway, right? And it's a platform, but not everybody sees it that way.
Right.
And it's not just handed to you. You really got to work through it, especially the fact that I was the loser of Project Runway. So I was like, that was a huge kick in the butt, and I was like, I'm not going out as like a loser of a reality show. So as soon as I got sent home, I was on my flight back from New York to LA. I was like, I'm kicking into high gear. I'm working nonstop. I'm gonna build this thing as big as I can get it.
See, I have a lot of guests. I'm like about like 30. You're like gonna be the 35th one. And the most, I don't know if you know Chaz Daney's.
Shares.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
He was on like one of my first guests, and his main thing was like what you just said. Like when the chips were down, he excelled. Like you got cut, but that's what fueled you. And I've noticed that that's like the number one thing the most successful people talk about. Like
literally.
Like if you say something negative to me or you got me down, it just really pisses them off to go harder.
That's the thing.
I'm trying to get a lot more of that.
I was talking to my friend the other day, and we were talking about bullying because we went to the same middle school. And I was thinking, I'm like, I honestly, I don't think I would change it for anything because that is what really kind of gave me the motivation to like, okay, you want to bully me now? Let's see in 10 years where we're at. And the funny thing, I was on Facebook, which I never go on Facebook anymore.
Yeah, I know.
Because I have like 10 billion friend requests. And one of the recommended ads was one of the bullies from middle school. So I was like, let me just go stalk him real quick. He ain't doing nothing with his life, so I'm like, let's see how the chips fall out, because meanness never works out.
I know, it's always like that too, because it's like, that's why it's like, there's just like one person that really bullied me a lot in high school, like really bad, like just really bad, and I used to always be so mad at this person, and then like later on I found out that, you know, he was going through like troubles at home.
That's how it always is.
Yeah, and then he was like going through these like weird things, and as an adult, certain things happened to him, and I thought, oh man, I'm not even like mad at this guy anymore. I wish back then I would have known. I would have been like, oh, it's like you're taking out what's happening to you on me.
Exactly.
It's not even his fault. So it's like a lot of the times I realized a lot of that's going on right now too. So it's like,
and that's so important. That's another great way to look at it too. It's like, don't feel bad for yourself, feel bad for the other person, because something is causing them to act that way towards you, and it's much deeper than them calling you names or being not nice to you.
And just overall in general, I do feel like that age, like middle school to high school, kids are mean.
So
like,
mean.
If you're fat, they'll just call you fat.
Yeah, no filter at all.
Yeah, exactly. And if it's like, if you're struggling, they'll just be like, you're dumb. Like, if there was just like, I know it was like Chris Pratt who had posted this thing about like, please read for everyone that's going to school. It was just as simple as
I saw that, and it was like, and someone sitting by themselves. Yeah, everyone was posting that.
It's so easy, and it's like the beauty of it, because it's like, if you see someone that's like, you know, is having a hard time, why not just be his friend? Because that was me. Like, I was like so insecure and so like, oh, someone's gonna say something to me. They were attacking me, saying things to me, and just made it more and more.
Yeah.
And if you don't have nothing nice to say, just don't say that. It was such a simple thing. Like,
that's so true.
Exactly. I feel like that was like really important. It went kind of viral, so I think it's funny how the smallest things are like the most powerful thing.
Totally.
How were you in high school? Were you like in the cool clique, or it seems like you are?
Well, here's the thing: is that once I switched my whole flow up, like I was on Project Runway while I was in high school. So then it did you kind of see who your real friends are, and then all of a sudden everybody wants to be your friend.
You know what's reminding me of? I don't know if you saw Justin Bieber posted something recently about like me being a child star.
And the drugs and all that.
It seems like you took it and excelled in such an awesome way. How do you think that? It's funny how his went the other way.
Yeah.
How do you think you took it in such a good way? Do you think it was like the people around you?
I have a great, I keep my circle pretty small. I have lots of friends in general, but my like really close group, we're very like tightly knit. So it's good to have a good support system, but it's ultimately up to you. Like you always have a good path and a bad path, and it's only up to you to choose which one you go down.
Right. So I didn't know you did that while you were still in high school. So you're kind of like. You're like going fast.
And that honestly might have even contributed to the fact of me switching everything up. Cause I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be a boss now, and then see what you want to say to me.
It's like, I feel like you're in a way saying like, everyone has to be held accountable for their actions. So it's like, because you could look like, Justin Bieber said all this stuff is what broke him, but then on the other side, you're here on the same like way, and it's like it only helps you accelerate. So like in the end of the way, everyone is accountable for what happens to them, right?
Totally. And the thing with like celebrity children, because a lot of my friends are like kids of celebrities.
Same lane, I'm saying,
because they're up here and I'm like down on the floor, but
it's like you're going in that direction.
I can relate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What do you think it is that gets them to like?
In Hollywood, there's a lot of temptation and lots of temptation and a lot of, older people trying to take advantage of you. Like, especially being so young when I was first starting out, so many people were coming at me with business deals and all that, but would try to undercut me because they didn't think I knew what was going on.
Right.
But luckily, my dad is like a businessman, so he doesn't take anything from anybody.
That's awesome to hear all this stuff coming from you, because I was like, you're having all this stuff and you're mentally strong. It's so funny how underneath your dad's, it's awesome to hear this. And so you would like put everything through him?
Totally. And the thing is that awesome. me and my mom are like this. Like, we are like so close. We always have been my whole life. Like, that's my girl right there. And then me and my dad, we butted heads, in the beginning, because we're polar opposites. Like, he is like a businessman, suit and tie, like the stereotypical, Wall Street guy. And then I'm obviously me, and I'm not that. But we kind of found common ground over this business thing, so that really brought us together, and that kind of that helped out a lot as well, just finding something in common with him.
Wow, that's awesome. It's awesome to see what got you going. What do you think, other than the line and stuff, where else do you see yourself in 5 years from now?
In 5 years, I've been saying this from the beginning.
But in 5 years, you're still only going to be like 25.
Yeah.
So it's not, but you're going so fast.
I'm trying. I've been saying since the beginning, I want to build an empire. Like, Tom Ford or Marc Jacobs. I want to have.
It's already, the vision's there. It's not like you're just saying all this, that it's all like there. I'm seeing
Totally. I just got to go out and get it.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I want to have makeup line, fragrance, house decor, I want all that. I want the whole shebang.
Wow, that's gonna be awesome, man.
Yeah.
I see it happening too, for sure.
Thank you.
What would be, for all the people that are listening, and especially like if you post and your followers, what would you want them to know if they're getting bullied or they're having a hard time, whether social media or anything? What would be your advice to them?
Just hang in there. As hard as it might be right now, use that motivation to just think about how great the future is going to be. Because you decide your own future, and look at where I was 10 years ago when I was in middle school. I didn't see the light at the end of the tunnel at all. And now I'm here, and I never would have expected that, and I'm living my best life for real. I made my dreams come true. So if I can do it, you can do it. Trust me.
Dude, what changed you from a person that was taking action and doing it, and then rather than just sitting around? What made you do that?
The first step, the hardest part of getting started with anything that you're going to do is actually saying that you're going to do it. I know so many people that have been talking about doing things for years and just they never put anything into action. So, if you want to be a YouTuber, don't wait until you get the best equipment or be like, oh, I'm going to order, a fancy camera, I don't want to start it. You got to start somewhere. You got to start somewhere. So just get it cracking.
This is going to be a small thing that I'm going to say that comes back to me, but I literally started this podcast out doing it at my apartment. Going to my friends' house.
Yeah, and look at you now. Look at you now. See,
so,
if you put your mind into
that too, man, I'm just going to do it. And I was doing the podcast off my phone.
Yeah.
So, wow, man, I feel like that is really some of the best advice right there.
Yes, that's how you got to do it. That's the only way to get it done is to actually put it into motion.
Wow, well, I feel like that was it. It was a clean, we said what we needed.
Yes, I love to talk, so that's so you got the right one.
I'm happy to have you on, man.
Yes, thank you. This was a pleasure. Thank you for having me.